man, what a dreary freaking afternoon, y'all. It's like humid, cloudy, freaking been thunderstorming all week, y'all. All last week anyways. What am I doing? How do you turn this on? I'm sorry guys, I'm new here. That's right. Ugh. Man. Well, so my only opportunity to freaking ride, and possibly the next week and a half or so, I don't know. It rained all last week, and now they're talking about rain starting tomorrow and lasting all this week, and I don't know, man. Kind of sucks, but at least it's not freezing ass cold and not blistering freaking hot, so it is what it is. But hey, check out that Piper Cub up there. Can y'all see it? You probably can't see it very well with the fisheye and super view, but that is the Piper Cub and the pilot that I was going to approach about doing that. Sorry guys, scatterbrain. The powder drop, y'all, for the gender reveal. You know what I'm talking about. That's the guy. That's the guy I was going to get, but yeah, that's the logistics, guys. Just impossible. Well, with just a mad scramble to somehow try and get content out to you guys, I figured I might as well do like a little recap on the, you know, like an after action report, a sit rep, a follow-up on the engine ice coolant swap. And just real quick, so I've ridden the bike twice since doing the coolant swap, and the first time I rode it after the swap, working with about a 10-degree cooler situation here. Now, the bike sat for a week, as you know, and then this morning on the way to work, you know, the temperatures were cooler, probably in the mid to high 70s, and the top temperature that the thermostat saw was 182 degrees. And I mean, you know, I don't know if you want to say that's average, if that's better. To me, I find it just to be a little bit cooler than normal. 182 degrees, you know, here's the deal though, y'all. Regardless of outside air temperature, the bike naturally has always wanted to be around 200 degrees. And so if we're running, you know, 182 after a typical 200, I would say that's an improvement. Here we are right now at 156. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, we've been riding for probably a solid 5 minutes. We're at 156. I mean, dude, if you can run any cooler than you have in the past, then I mean, to me, that's a win, right? Hell, even if we're just running 5 degrees cooler than average, that's still better than what it was before. So hey, so anyways, I mean, the bottom line is, yeah, it's worth it. As a matter of fact, you know, I would probably recommend changing your coolant more than once in 10 years. Yeah? But what the hell do I know? Yeah, the bike's always run. What's the problem, right? Never overheated? Yeah, it's good. It's fine. Who knows what would have happened, you know, any day. I mean, you guys saw the reservoir was like freaking empty. And no telling how long it's been that way. Oh well, neither here nor there. She's full of engine ice now, and we're rocking and rolling. Look at that, 165 degrees. I would expect it to be up at 185, 190 right now. I mean, really. You know, we'll be coming up on 10 minutes into this ride. We're at 165. That's pretty good. Now, one thing I haven't bothered to do is pop the fairing back off and check the coolant level. I did the first day. After I had swapped the coolant and started the bike, let it come to temp, I popped it back off, checked it out, and it was still full. So, I mean, I don't know, man. You know, we've been through this. It should have taken like a jug and a quarter, and it ended up taking just under a full jug. I still have no explanation for that. You know, the numbers according to the manual, and then the numbers printed on the frickin' bottle, it didn't add up. I don't know what happened there. I'm not gonna worry about it. No sense in fretting over it. It's fine. Yeah, alright, so here we are in kind of an idling situation. Here, stuck at a red light. We'll see what it does. Here we are at 171. Again, by this point in time, I'd be expecting to see, you know, 200 degrees, and it's just not there yet. So that's good, man. I guess technically I should be able to notice a power increase since it's running cooler. I don't know. And this bike, it's so wore out, y'all, you know. And it might just be my imagination, and maybe it's because I'm so accustomed to the power. I mean, she'll turn 50,000 miles here by the end of summer for sure, if not sooner. But jeez Louise, I gotta tell you, man, I really wish I could afford a new bike, you know, one of these days. I always joke with my wife, it's like, yeah, I guess by the time I'm gray-haired and kids are in high school, I'll get my first Gixxer 750 or whatever. Ah, well, patience is virtue, people. I don't know if on your personal road of life, if you figured that out yet, but I can tell you for sure that when it comes to anything, patience is virtue. Have a little faith. Alright, we got the green arrow and we are at 190 degrees, holding steady. I'm sorry, 191. Nice. You know, sometimes I think that she's losing power on the top end. You know, no coolant swap is going to change that shit. And it could just be my imagination. Again, because I've grown accustomed to the bike's power. All the time now, I find myself, and I've said this before, I find myself waiting on the bike. You know, I'm pinned full throttle, completely in the present situation, right? Full sense of presence. It's not getting away from me. I'm just pinned, man. Wide open throttle, just waiting on the bike to catch up to me, you know. And I guess that's a pretty good indication that you're ready to step up to the next level, you know, step up to perhaps that next CC. And you know, one of these days, guys. Now, of course, with almost 50,000 miles on this bike, my greatest fear is that any sense of power loss on the top end is actually because of a badly needed valve adjustment. Now, from what I've read, symptoms of needing a valve adjustment includes not having a good idle, right? Like, the bike won't idle correctly. Maybe it'll just shut off at idle and things like that, which, you know, I haven't experienced anything like that. So I don't know, guys. Service manual calls for the first valve adjustment at 24,000 miles, I believe. And the first time I really, you know, acknowledged that fact, I think I was at like 44,000 miles or some ridiculous shit like that. Basically, you know, twice over past the first scheduled valve adjustment. And so she's never had one. And I oftentimes wonder, you know, if it's not my imagination that I've lost power on the top end, then could it possibly be that if I went ahead and spent the money and got the valve adjustment done, will we recover all sorts of power that we didn't know we lost? You know? Hey, that would be crazy. You got, you know, you gotta like weigh your values here, though. You know, it's like cost to I don't know, I can't think straight right now, so I don't even know what the verbiage is I'm trying to use here, but it's like cost benefit analysis. That's the shit. In other words, is it worth paying? Probably, I don't know. I really have no idea, y'all. You gotta pull the freaking cams out, man. This bike's a dual overhead cam. You gotta pull both cams out to do a valve adjustment. Like, who the hell wants to do that? Furthermore, who the hell wants to pay somebody the freaking probably unimaginable labor costs to do something like that on a bike that's got 50,000 miles on it? And, you know, the flip side of that is, well, maybe it is worth it. You know, what's a $400 or $500 job versus, you know, a $4,000, $5,000 to $10,000 motorcycle purchase? So at some point in time, the decision is going to have to be made, because I'm not going to do a valve adjustment myself, guys. It's just not going to happen. I'm not tearing this engine apart. I mean, I'm not going to do it. You know, you guys have seen all the mods I've done on this bike and the extent of my mechanical skills, and that's not to say that I couldn't figure out a valve adjustment, but the thing that bothers me more is the unknowns when it comes to something like that. What happens if you shim the son of a bitch up wrong, put it all back together, and it doesn't run right? Huh? Then the whole damn thing's got to come back apart, and you got to put the right shim sizes in there. There's too much trial and error for somebody like me who's not a certified motorcycle mechanic. That's why you pay motorcycle mechanics, is for that exact thing, you know, that right there. So, and the other thing, guys, is that this damn fork seal, the left fork here, has been blown since that Stay Broke crew ride back in the Gap. Y'all remember that, right? I mean, when I hit that pavement lip in that construction zone, holy crap, guys, it sounded like the whole front end came apart. It was such a loud impact. But now that might be something I can do. You know, oh, by the way, here we are at 201 degrees. So we are like 15 minutes into this ride, and we are just now hitting 200 degrees. That's impressive. Not too shabby. But yeah, the fork seals. Now that's something that I can probably pull off. You know, it requires a specialty tool or two or three. But thing about it is I had this fork assembly all completely undone when I installed the clip-ons, man. So I suppose there's no reason why I couldn't pull that off. Probably be an all-day ordeal. The one thing I don't have, though, is like a vise, man. I don't have a workbench with a vise up or anything like that. So, you know, who knows how much that shit costs? I have no idea, guys. I don't know how much a shop would charge for a fork seal repair, and it's one of them things where if you're going to do one, you might as well do the other. So there's that, right? But fork seal kits aren't very expensive. I think a Yamaha kit's like 30 or 40 bucks. It's just the labor, guys. You get hooked up with these shops, man, and they're charging 80 to 100 bucks an hour for labor. Holy shit, man. You know, like the valve adjustment, you have a guy on that shit for 4 or 5 hours, dude, you ain't getting out of that cheap. Ain't no way. Hey, look at that, back down to 199, sitting here idling in traffic, y'all. My B camera just went out. No surprise there. I'm not even gonna bother with it, y'all, because I'm fixing to wrap this one up. No sense in being long and drawn out about anything. Obviously the coolant flush was a good idea. The swap in general, the decision to go to engine ice was a good idea. Here we are, 203, man. Well, these lights have gotten out of sync. How many times have you guys ridden with me on this little route here? That's always a green arrow by the time you get to it from that previous light. I don't know. Anyways, guys, in conclusion, yes, engine ice. Make the switch, you won't be sorry. Guys, it's been Half Click Up. Sorry about the lack of content. Mother Nature does not always cooperate. But this has been me. That's been you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Goodbye! Oh, that's right. That thing's dead. You're up here. Goodbye!